Hi guys, my name is Tom Tikka and this here is Arimo and welcome to Secure Man Podcast. It's something that I think Arimo agrees we both thought we'd never do.
Yep, that's why we are here.
And we are not psychologists or psychiatrists. We're university educated people, but from different fields.
Yeah.
However, we're not spring chicken either, and
No.
we've gone through life. We've had our ups and downs, many different relationships, some good, some terrible, some bad. Both have gone through our divorces a long time ago, and we'd like to think that we know a thing or two, and our sole purpose of doing this is to help people.
Yes, definitely, because on our experience, we know there are a lot of men,
Yes.
women who are suffering in
And they
their
think they're alone.
relationships. Yep.
And they think that nobody else has gone through similar things, and you know there's a great tendency to get depressed if you are left alone. And these cases that we're going to be going through are from a local men's support group. We contacted them a couple of months ago, asked if they wanted to share their stories, past members, current members, and we've gotten quite a few messages, and we're going to be dealing with these messages one by one, and sometimes I think even, you know, we'll give advice, but I think for a lot of people just to hear these cases out loud and recognize that they're not the only ones suffering in silence. It's sort of almost like the first step on the road to recovery, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, exactly.
But the first message that we've gotten many during the past 3 weeks, is from Rod. And here's what Rod says. Dear Arimo and Tom, I don't know what to do. My wife is traveling for work, and lately, whenever she travels with a man from her work. This has been a hard pill for me to swallow. It's made me very insecure and jealous. This has continued for 6 months. We've talked about it, and she's assured me he is just a friend, but I have my doubts.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
This is really eating me up. I take care of the house and the kids and pay all our bills, being the breadwinner. She has lately started going to the gym with the same man and is refusing to discuss the matter further. Whenever I bring up that this bothers me, she calls me controlling and gives me silent treatment. I'm depressed and I'm exhausted, on the verge of a breakdown. Help, please, Rod.
Okay, Rod. Looks like you have a really, really painful situation.
Absolutely, and I think that I speak for everyone when I say that whether a man or a woman, you're home with the kids, and Rod's a breadwinner, by the way, he has a job, so he must make a whole lot. But whoever is in that situation that they're at home waiting for this other person to come home, or and knowing that they're out there with
Traveling with some same guy
constantly, and in this case even going to the gym. I think that since there's no communication, what the mind doesn't know, the mind imagines, and
exactly.
And I can
you
just
start creating.
Oh yeah, I mean I can just
kind of images or things that you are most probably they are not true or whatever.
But they sure are
painful.
vivid. Yes, yes.
And why it's painful? Because all right, he doesn't get any answers.
And it's a very difficult situation. I know trust is a cornerstone of any relationship, but let's be honest here. That is putting the relationship to test every day, every week, every time she goes off with that guy somewhere, supposedly for work. I mean, it's probably for work, but in Rod's mind, it's probably supposedly for work. He has to, you know, deal with that time and time again. And I'm just wondering if I just, you know, what do you think about that setup? Is it a long-term solution to do something like that in a committed relationship?
Well, actually, it's creating at the moment more pain. Than being a solution that you can move on.
And I think it's weird that the wife doesn't care that Rod is, you know, basically falling apart.
Rod is falling apart, and it sounds like Rod is, when we are talking about what we have studied also and learned in our previous experiences, Rod is anxious attachment.
Absolutely.
So according to the attachment styles, he definitely needs some kind of communication, love, reassurance from the wife.
Yeah, and I mean, we've studied these attachment types and psychology of human relationships extensively because it's something that we've had to deal with ourselves.
Yes, and it has helped us to understand things, why we are here, why this kind of things happen. I'm trying to be the good guy. Rod is trying to be the good guy.
Oh, he's trying.
Now he doesn't understand and why his efforts are not respected. And what man needs respect.
Absolutely. And you know, every man needs, just like every woman, attention. If you don't get attention from your spouse, who else are you? I mean, people have this old saying that whatever you're not getting at home, you'll find someplace else.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, you know, that's a danger zone in itself. And it sounds like she might have found something else on the side. We can't be sure.
We don't know.
But that basically, Rod isn't saying it clearly, but that's the basic problem. He thinks she's having it off with this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's there is emotional distance now.
Yeah.
Big emotional distance, and that's hurting him. Obviously, the wife is more like avoidant type of attacher.
Absolutely. Doesn't want to talk, doesn't want to confront. There's a problem.
Exactly.
And what happens if you confront an avoidant person with something like this and try to explain to them in a little bit perhaps the wrong way or in any way that their behavior is hurting the entire family? What is the usual response that one would...
I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. And it comes that the avoidants, they are more feeling more secure in the place that they can deal by themselves. They praise independence. They don't want to come to the table very easily and start communicating about problems.
And that's a childhood trauma, isn't it? Just like with an anxious one would have.
Both are born from the same kind of situation, or when you, as a child, you don't get love. For example, let's say maybe Rod has had a mother who didn't give love.
Right.
Or caring. And Rod starts to chase that.
Yeah.
So he's chasing it still.
And the more he chases it, the further the avoidance
goal. Yes. And this is the vicious toxic loop what happens between these kind of types.
Now, talking about the toxic loop, he's asking for our help. Now, these are the reasons the communication isn't working clearly. It's a very difficult situation. Most people would be extremely uncomfortable. It's not something you imagine yourself to be in when you're a kid. It's not your dream situation. So we've got a tremendously difficult situation, opposite attachment types. All of that you say is true. It's a toxic cycle. What are Rod's options?
Yeah, that's why we are basically here.
That's why we're here.
Giving advice. Rod is asking us, please help.
Right.
So, how to fix this situation? Well, there is maybe one chance, and it's open communication between Rod and his wife.
Yes.
And if you are willing to do it, you need to set up a boundary. And if she is willing to come to the table and talk about that. So, the boundary needs to be clear, and it's needed to be communicated clearly and loving and a not threatening way.
Yes.
So, Rod, you need to basically set up boundary where you say that I'm not gonna tolerate this and this and this kind of behavior anymore in this relationship.
And you need to follow through with that. Then you can't set up that boundary and then next day go back to the way everything's
Yes, exactly. So there has to be also consequences for that boundary. And the boundary, basically, you need to decide if you are not going to tolerate, then the other option, you need to leave.
Yeah. So either, I mean, as awful as it sounds, because we've both gone through divorce, and it's difficult with the kids involved, and we certainly don't want to tell anybody to get divorced. It's something that it's a decision you have to come to yourself, and you do it if it feels right. But the only thing I think we both agree that will help at this point is attempt to communicate, even suggest therapy if she's willing, but there has to be some sort of solution to this problem. It can't continue forever, and it will if you don't do anything. And if nothing works, it might come to that, to this point that you have to leave. And that's okay.
Yep.
And it's okay that people are different. It's just that when they're too different, they really shouldn't be in the same relationship.
Exactly, unless there is a willingness to try to come halfway through.
Yes. Well, that's
all right.
That's our advice anyway, and I hope we were able to help. Hopefully, you get to the point where you can resolve this. It seems like you want to. I'm Tom Tikka, and this is Arimo Koivisto. We're being fed these cases by the local support group that I mentioned in the beginning. But if you want to send us a message, you can DM us and tell us your story. We'd love to hear from you. Yep. And who knows, maybe we'll just have a slot for you as well. We're basically signing off for now.
Yes.
But watch this space.
That's for it today.
We'll be back a month from now.
Yep.
Maybe even sooner.
All right. Be secure.
Be secure.